What's good, people? It's your content guy, Breeze here. First off, I want to thank you for coming over and checking out the channel. What we do here is we highlight the channels that are next to blow on YouTube. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Next on the roster, we have The Department with Omar El Takari. On the channel, you'll find great information on how to scale your business and grow your brand, whether your business is on YouTube or not. Recently, Omar sat down with Myron Golden, and the two chatted about programming yourself to be rich. Myron starts the conversation all by saying we go through life acting as if we believe things because they are true, but in reality, we think things are true because we believe them. This leads Myron to saying making $1 million isn't hard. Your mindset is what makes it hard because of certain beliefs that you have instilled in your head. Myron actually states that making $30K is harder than making $1 million. Later in the conversation, Myron shares the key to content, which is to become more interesting, which is easier said than done. But the key to becoming more interesting is to become more interested. By doing this, you'll become the solution to a problem that people have. When you provide the solution to a problem for the people, they will pay you first with their time, and secondly, they will pay with their money, which will both be beneficial to you. Also on the channel, Omar talks about the different ways to monetize your YouTube channel. He starts off by saying that you don't have to wait for Google to pay you and that you don't need a lot of subscribers to make money. Omar says you can do affiliate marketing, and by having links to your business in the description box, this can allow you to monetize your channel. Omar wants the people who are creating content just for the love of it to know that just because you do it for the love, that shouldn't negate you having a money plan for your content. So y'all go check out the great content that Omar is producing over in The Department. Next up on the roster, we have the Stop TV. The content on the channel centers around Danny providing his unique take on what's happening on the top urban podcasts and in hip-hop news in general. Danny is well-versed in matters that pertain to the Joe Budden podcast, so he covers the pod frequently. His channel is a good way to get a feel for an episode before you watch it, in my opinion. He recently reacted to Joe and Mel clashing over the Anthony Mackie statement made on The Pivot about the erasing of the straight man in American society. Danny thinks Joe's explosive reaction was a calculated business move because Joe is seeing the lackluster effort the cast has been displaying lately, and this was his attempt to turn things up. Danny also states that by Joe doing this, it shows that he feels his cast has reached its ceiling, which means he wouldn't include them on a new daily show he's mentioned before. Danny also reacted to something Charlamagne said on his Brilliant Idiots podcast. In an episode where Charlamagne and the cast were throwing shade at the Joe Budden pod, Charlamagne calls out podcast reactors, with him saying they don't do any research and they don't know what they be talking about, and him saying that they aren't as successful as the people they are talking about. Danny points out that Charlamagne frequently reacts to things pertaining to Drake, and he himself is not as successful as Drake. Danny also mentions that a lot of these guys on these big platforms aren't well researched either. He also brings up that Charlamagne was popularized for tearing people down, like Lakeith Stanfield and the incident where he made Lil Mama cry. Danny also reacted to Ish's return to the JBP after missing a few episodes because of injury. Danny says Ish's performance is reminiscent of MJ's double nickel game in the 45 jersey, with this being the best pod in months. Danny points out that this shows how powerful Ish's presence is on the JBP. Danny points out that Ish is an outlier, and that's why he's so valuable. All of the other castmates are one and the same. So y'all go check out the great content that Danny's producing over at The Stop. Next up on the roster, we have Urban Politicians TV, or UPTV, with Big Ant the spokesman. Ant is a hood reporter reporting on any urban news that hits the airwaves. In his reporting, he'll answer the who, what, where, and when, and add his unique point of view to the situation. Ant recently reacted to a video of a young Charleston White on the stand in the courtroom, testifying against his co-defendants for a shorter sentence for his role in the crime. Ant points out that some of the things that Charleston White does now are a direct contradiction to him testifying in this video. Charleston White stating he does what he does because it's the right thing to do. With that being said, Ant poses a valid question. If that's your motto, why didn't you take accountability for your role in the crime? Why didn't you face the court and take your time instead of throwing your friends under the bus so you could get a lighter sentence? In another video, Ant reacts to Dr. Umar, saying he's going to expose his second baby mama for blocking his visits with his child. In the video, Dr. Umar says he's starting a black men anti-family court movement. He states we as black men are sick and tired of being taken advantage of. Ant points out this is a complete 180 from the standpoint Dr. Umar had just a week ago. before all of this family stuff came out about him. Ant states that Umar was always the one pandering to black women and always promoting acceptance of black women no matter their actions. But now when he's in a situation with a black woman and things aren't going his way, he now wants black men to band together and join him in the fight. Ant lets Umar know that he shouldn't be surprised when people look at him crazy for this. So y'all go check out the great content that Ant's producing over at Urban Politicians TV. Next on the roster, we have Sky Build. On the channel, they cover everything construction, with them explaining how some of the engineering marvels of the world came to be. In one video, the Sky Build team explores how the Los Angeles Clippers and owner Steve Ballmer made the Intuit Dome possible. First, they give us background information about the Clippers arena situation before the Intuit Dome was a thing. They let us know that the Clippers used to share an arena with the Los Angeles Lakers and the Los Angeles Kings, with the Clippers being treated like the ugly stepchild when it came to game time slot. This treatment is what birthed the idea of the Intuit Dome. Steve Ballmer set out to make a state-of-the-art home for the Clippers. The Intuit Dome stands 150 feet high and covers 1.2 million square feet. On the inside, there's a gigantic halo board with 4K resolution floating over your head. Also, the seating area in the Intuit Dome offers the most leg room in the NBA, whether you're courtside or in the nosebleeds. Long lines will be a non-factor at the Dome. Fans can grab food from a buffet and simply walk out, as payments are processed directly on the Dome's mobile app. Also, the Dome has 1,100 toilets and urinals, which is 3 times any other NBA arena. These two amenities will allow the fan to quickly return to the game. The path to building the Intuitive Dome wasn't seamless. Initially, there were some obstacles, the first one being the Kia Forum. The Kia Forum is another arena in close proximity to the Intuit Dome. The owners of the Kia Forum felt the newer arena being so close would affect their revenue, so they filed 3 lawsuits in an attempt to prevent the building of the Intuit Dome. Steve Ballmer solved this problem by purchasing the Kia Forum in 2020. The second obstacle was the affordable housing crisis in Inglewood. With real estate already being expensive in Inglewood, the building of a new arena would surely drive costs up more. Steve Ballmer solved this problem by contributing $100 million to a community benefits agreement which would provide affordable housing and other needs for the community of Inglewood. In another video, Sky Build explains how Hartsfield-Jackson Airport in Atlanta, Georgia became the busiest airport in the world, with the foresight of city leaders in the past, geography, and location being major contributing factors. In another video, Sky Build explains all the transformations the city of Los Angeles has to implement before the 2028 Olympics. So y'all go check out the great content that Sky Build is producing. All right, guys, if you like the content, I want you to like and subscribe. And if you can think of a channel that you think should have made the roster, leave it down in the comment section. Peace.